welcome to another video with me. My name is Elmo. You can call me this guy because my surname can be a bit difficult to pronounce. In fact, I'm not going to pronounce it at all. It's good to have you along. Today I'm looking at 5 reasons why I'm not going to buy the XFX3 by Fractal Audio, even though it's a big upgrade on the old XFX2, which I have over here. I'm also going to talk about how those reasons may or may not apply to you. So stick around, I'll be right back after this intro. Okay, so welcome back. Now, here I have an XFX2 and I really like it. XFX3 is now out and it's a big upgrade on this with more processing power, more added features and so on. And basically, I'm not going to get it. Why? Well, there are 5 big reasons, or they vary in size. And the first one is size. This one is smaller than the new one. I don't know why they've made it bigger. I just can't understand. Because everything else is getting smaller, basically. Why does the XFX3 have to be bigger? Just don't understand, because it'll weigh more and it'll be annoying to carry around. So that's reason number 1 for me. Does this reason apply to you? Well, I don't know. Weight. Actually, I'm not sure if it weighs more, but it is bigger, so it stands to reason that it would weigh more. But even if it's just bigger, it'll just take up more space in a bigger rack. Now, if you're a big burly guy who can carry around stuff just like this plectrum, then maybe you don't mind. But if you're slightly smaller, it might actually be a bit annoying. Even carrying this rack around is a bit on the annoying side. Because, hey, I like stuff to be easy to carry around. I've actually been thinking of retiring this from road use and going to just a regular pedal board with my Marshalls. Okay, so reason number 2, price. This one costs 2,200 euros at the moment in Europe. Now, I had a look on the Fractal Audio website, and the XFX3, the list price is $3,500. But there's a discount going, so you can get it for $2,500. That's a big discount, and that might be that will become the regular price of the unit in the States. Because you can't get it in Europe, at least not via the official European website, g66.eu, I think it was, or something like that. That's where I got the XFX2, and basically anything that's made in the States comes over here. They add customs charges to it and VAT. So it's going to cost a whole lot more here in Europe. But even if you assume that it's $2,500, that's quite a lot of money. And basically, it's expensive. That's what I'm saying. Now, I had someone commenting on one of my videos where I said the XFX2 was expensive, saying, is it really expensive considering the support you get and the sounds and the features and everything that you get in the box? Well, in a way, I understand your points. But in another way, it's still expensive. It just, the thing that varies is, do you get bang for your buck? And with the XFX2, you do, but I'm not sure that you will with the XFX3, especially if you already have the XFX2. So if you have the XFX2, or indeed XFX1 or one of the pedals, then I'm not sure if you should upgrade. I definitely won't. Now that brings me to my 3rd reason why I'm not going to get the XFX3, and that's versatility. The XFX3 is incredibly versatile, but so is the XFX2. Really, the only reason why I upgraded from the XFX1, the Ultra, was that it didn't have tone matching, whereas this did. I've had a look at the specs for, or the features for the XFX3, and there's nothing there that interests me at all. Indeed, I've been playing this thing so long now that I'd like to downscale, go back to the old Ultra, except that it doesn't have the tone matching. The tone matching is a cool feature to have, but why? This thing already does everything. It has everything ever built. Well, not literally, but you get the point. It almost makes your coffee for you. Why would I want something bigger that costs even more, that makes even more stuff, when what I really want is one or two sounds that are killer. Now, how this applies to you will vary depending upon what it is you do. I used to play shows where I needed a whole bunch of sounds, and this thing was great. Whereas the Plexi, hey, no chance, because it basically does one sound and that's it. But even those shows, I don't think I would ever have needed anything like the Axe FX3. I didn't really need the Axe FX2 either. I would have been perfectly happy with the Axe FX Ultra, but it didn't have tone matching. So versatility, that's a big selling point for the Axe FX3, but where do you need all the bells and whistles? Do you really need all that stuff? I don't. You have to think about if you really do. Which brings me to number 4, and that's sound quality. I've already mentioned tone matching, and there was a big step forward with the Axe FX Ultra to the Axe FX2, this one, because it featured tone matching, and it was slightly better otherwise as well. But the thing that improved was it started to actually feel a bit more real. Maybe not when you're actually playing it, but when you're listening to it. So when I A/B'd this one with the old one, I could hear the difference. But I've listened to A and B tests on YouTube where people have A and B different models in this one and the new Axe FX3, and I'm not at all convinced that it's that much better. It sounded a bit different. It didn't sound better, at least not in my book. Now, better is not the same as different, and I'm not sure that the Axe FX3 sounds better. And investing $2,500 minimum just to find out, to A and B them yourself, that's a huge investment. Now, granted, you could sell this one later on or sell the Axe FX3 if you're not convinced that you need it. But anyway, it's a huge investment. Okay, so reason number 5, and that's valve amps or tube amps. Now, tube amps are absolutely brilliant, and they're not very versatile beasts, at least if you get a simpler version, and I like the simpler versions more. The more complicated a tube amp or a valve amp has been, usually the less I like it. I like this kind of single channel thing. Now, sound quality in this is much better than in the Axe FX. And like I said, the sound quality between the Axe FX2 and the Axe FX3, or the difference, it was just different. It wasn't better. Here, it's actually better. It feels alive. It basically feels like a bloody valve amp, because it is a bloody valve amp. This isn't. And still, like I said, Axe FX3 compared to Axe FX2, the videos I've seen, I don't think there was a huge difference in sound quality, whereas there is between this and that. Those are the 5 reasons why I'm not going to get the Axe FX3. There is also the added reason that the Axe FX2 has, I've had it for a long time, but I'm using it less and less as an amp modeler. I'm using it more as an effects processor, and I make demos at home with it. That's because even though I really like it, I've noticed over and over again that valve amps, tube amps, are so much better that I'd rather use those. If you need something for a versatile environment where you need different sounds, then this definitely is the way to go. And it might even be that the Axe-FX 3 is the way to go for you. But on the other hand, consider this, that you can get an Axe-FX 2 XL or XL2, or there are different variations, or an Axe-FX Ultra, or even an Axe-FX Standard, and any of those will do almost anything. The thing to watch out for with the Ultra and Standard is that they don't feel like the real deal when you're playing them. They don't sound like the real deal when you're playing them. They sound good, but there's something missing that isn't missing in this one. So that's basically it. I hope you liked the video. Please give it a thumbs up if you did. Comment, let me know. Have you considered buying the Axe-FX 3? And then there's the whole Kemper thing, which I didn't go into at all. And you can comment on that. Or if you use something else, there are a bunch of other modeling things out there. There's the Line 6 Helix and so on. And so let me know what you're using and if you're thinking of upgrading to something better. And hey, subscribe if you haven't already, and feel free to support me on Patreon. It helps me make more of these videos. Now I'm going to play a bit for you on the Axe-FX 2 XL, and I hope that you enjoy it. I'm going to do something slightly different that I could not do with the Plexi.